I'll call the town council study session of August 17th to order. We have several items on the study session agenda. First item is land parcels. Dave, could you explain that for us?
Yes. Collaborative effort between IUN and Lake County. They have circulated a number of parcels to the towns that are in Lake County that are going to be up for grabs by local municipalities on tax sales. We identified the properties and also identified a valuable use for them within the town of Dyer, mainly for stormwater management. The map attached is the parcels. Some of them had fallen off in the past and gone to private owners. Some of them we were unaware of that were private owners at the time. So we are looking to acquire these as part of the process. Mainly put it on your study session because when and if the final parcel and paperwork gets to us, it'll probably be January. At that point, you'll have to take an action to accept them. So there's the map that has them, and I believe did Brian leave any a letter attached to anything down there with you?
I don't believe there's any other additional narrative beyond what's in the package.
So just, are these properties acquired by tax sale that are going to be donated to the town?
Correct. There'll be no cost to the town.
Other than maintenance if it's in an area that
Absolutely.
we have to do something.
That was music 5 years.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
No action needed tonight. Just wanted to let you guys
Okay.
kind of absorb it so that when you see it again later on, you'll not be surprised or
Is number 8 here?
Yes. That's I know exactly where that's at.
Yeah. So if I know the residents around, this is something we talk about later on because this is not the final one, but the residents around there always pick up, you know, they collect money and then they do everything to make that a nice looking pond. I just want to, and I don't know what it is. They go around, they collect money a couple times a year and
they treat it for algae.
Yeah. So that may be something that we want to keep on our radar, that the residents are doing something with that pond to keep that one of the nicer non-town ponds. And if it's going to be ours, we may just want to keep that in mind. Second up, we have fire territory. Dave, if you want to, I'll let you talk to that, speak to that.
President Starkey and myself were invited to a meeting at St. John recently with the fire chiefs and Cherville, Lake Hills, and St. John representatives. There was a discussion had about the pros and cons of creating a fire territory for the 4 areas: St. John, Cherville, Dyer, and then Lake Hills. The discussion at this time is merely discussion. We'll turn it over to Chief Martin here in a second if there's any questions, but we all felt in our respective communities, we should probably let the elected officials know as early as possible so that they can understand if they start seeing any results or findings or just any kind of recommendations that, you know, at this point, this is just a fact-finding mission to see what benefits are out there versus what non-benefits would be to any towns or any particular territories. Chief Martin, if you have anything to add to that, it's not a presentation about fire territories. It's more merely just acknowledging to the elected officials that this information is out there.
Yeah, and like town manager said, it's just for discussions. We know that the fire service across the board, pretty much in the country, has staffing issues. And it was one of the models. I mean, you walk to my office right now, there's a big whiteboard with multiple models of different staffing models that we're looking at for next year and the following years, so we can provide the most professional quality service to our community all the time. So this was just an option, being that we, you know, all these agencies we automatically on and aid together. We've been doing that the past 4 or 5 months, which is something that fire firm never did, and showed that huge benefits of it a couple weeks ago. We had a fire, pretty well involved fire in the engine. Described the size of the home, Briar Ridge, and put it downtown to be done. So again, it's just exploratory, looking into different staffing models. So we're providing the best quality service and staffing for not just our citizens, but our personnel as well. So, it's one of many, like I said, if you walk to my office right now, there's a big whiteboard that has, it looks like a beautiful line, but I can't say that anywhere near a beautiful line. But again, it's just another thing that we need to just to make sure that we provide the best service.
Chief, what would be the benefit to the town of Dyer of a district
So, staffing.
staffing?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, 100%. There's different NFPA requirements, whether it's 1710 or, which can gauge a career department as opposed to other best practices for initial staffing. And again, it's mainly the staffing, your
Okay.
initial response staffing, not just for what we would bring to that scene for whoever's in peril, but also staffing for us as well. There's requirements through OSHA and FDA that say within X amount of minutes we have that crew, which is a backup crew standing by in case of fire. Unfortunately, all too often that there's staffing across the board. That doesn't affect the city. So again, looking at different models, whether it be a territory or within Dyer, progressive that staffing their department itself, just looking into different ways that diligently without making sure we don't blow up the budget and making sure that we get the right staff to get our personnel on the front line and citizens.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have, you'll see a diagram in your packet of pavement markings in front of EMS. This really just flows from the, hey, we've got a cool idea category. And it was to, we're doing pavement markings down on Hart Street. So this would put a blue and red pavement marking in front of the police and fire department as you see in the on your diagram.
Pardon the diagram, Frank. I think lost some sleep because it was not the electronically created diagram. It was my blue marker and my red pen that I was happy that I found.
Nice. No, that's fantastic.
This does not need any council action per se, but since I merely am an extension of your guys' thoughts and plans, and more than enough of you had mentioned that you'd like something neat over there or something different. So we worked with Jeff and Neil just to make sure that these markings would be compliant with anything. They will be inside the standard yellow.
So it'll be the yellow on the outside and
then inside
the
correct.
decorative
Correct.
markings on the
And
inside.
it looks pretty symmetrical from the aerial view, that half of the building right down the middle, right where the police and fire are kind of divided, would be the dividing line out in the street. So
good.
This is going to take place, and unless at a meeting there's three of you that are screaming the opposite, but this is what Public Works has been instructed to do.
Perfect.
Let's make sure we wait till construction is done with the 2-stage, so it doesn't get ruined.
Sure.
They should be done in 2 weeks, I was told today.
Yeah, we'll probably plan on cleaning the street really good and
Yeah.
moving forward. Okay.
Yeah, just on that note, Hart's been looking pretty rough with just that
Coming in and out, yeah.
Yeah.
We've attempted to hit it a couple times with our local street sweeper. However, it is in the project specs that construction also keep an eye on it.
Next up, fire department policies, emergency operations plan. So the police and fire department have been updating their policies. The police department has a mechanism to review and approve these through the police commission. The fire department does not. So at some point in time, if I'm not mistaken, we will see those before us. And so we will make those determinations. So it was just a heads up that we'll be seeing this soon.
Okay.
I may be the lone voice on this still. I still think it's worthwhile to, I don't think we ever really explored combining the two into a safety board. There's been some pushback, but it's not like we'd be the first ones in the country to do it, not even the first ones in the county to do it. If we want to see our fire department grow, we brought on our first full-time chief. we're hopeful in the budget, we can bring in a full-time person next year, possibly in the next few years, bring on some more. We want to grow the department. And rather than do the St. John model where they had a full-time department and then realized they needed to do something, I still think it's worthwhile for us to have some type of oversight for the fire department, aside from the town council, to help them on their journey. We don't need to do anything with that now. I'm just saying that as we, as you know, as we're the ones who are gonna have to look at these things, there are other boards that could do that, so. Again, number 4 is just a heads up, we'll be seeing this. Number 5, mural plans for the west side of the building, services building. Mary, I think you and your group
Right.
are heading that up.
Dyer and Bloom, we've been discussing this for quite some time, is we have one mural that we did 2 years ago on the pump station in the back. And a lot of people have complimented us on how nice it looks. And we're looking to the same group from Faith Church to do a projection on the side of it. I think Mary, Tim is here. You can help us out too, because what they want to do is project something on there that says Dyer, Indiana. It screams Dyer, Indiana. And so when people are driving down Hart Street, they see this loud and clear that this is who we are. So we're planning on doing that. And the idea is that they would tell us what paints go in particular areas, and that would be up to us and their volunteers to complete the mural. So hopefully we're looking at that. We're looking at a number of projects, and hopefully we can get that through probably by next year, a year from now. Mary, did you want to add anything?
But it should be an accent to as well, right?
Yes.
Will the final design of whatever
They'll
is
bring it
come-
before
okay.
us. Yes, definitely. We've already talked about that.
Is this a local group from Dyer?
Pardon me?
Is this local? Like the volunteers, are they local?
Yeah,
Yes,
they're
okay.
from Faith Church.
I sorry, I didn't hear that.
They did the little, oh, is it out?
Okay.
here?
I
Yeah,
didn't catch
they'll-
that,
They
sorry.
did all
Yeah.
that too.
That ends what we had on here. I'm gonna throw on a number 6, just so we can say it in a study session. Dave, is anyone in here from? We have a sign that we want to put up on 30.
Yeah, they're upstairs.
Okay, good. So is there, again, everybody,
Drum roll.
Drum roll.
tip of the hat, we're all okay with 30. I think it's a good spot to put on 30, but right there somewhere,
Which sign?
It's gonna
May.
be unveiled later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We'll look for some space. We need to make sure that, obviously, we have authorization for the property owners. There's a sliver there that is, in front of the school that you're talking about,
Yeah,
that we can either get the school's permission or,
I'm sure they'd be more than happy. I mean,
Jenny Malcolm will be here later. so-
yeah, and we may want to attach the other one that's, also here with it, since it's school related as well, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Good place.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Sounds good. Anything else for the study session?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
under FDA, there would be emergency operations plan as well.
Okay.
So we've.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we've been spending quite a few months, updating on emergency operations plan. Working on, it's been sent over, it's probably gonna take a while to review. It's pretty lengthy. I had it vetted by, the county director, Chief Walker. And, by a few other chiefs. So it seems very, very solid, and very good upgrade for the community, opposed to, what we had prior. So, as, myself, Chief and Chief all guys, players, 300 and 400, throughout the town. We would, do, annual audits, which any audit, which they're, updated by myself. Correct on this as for me, also the resolution to, update it as we could update as we go. So, I think it's definitely something that a lot of hours going into it, rather opposed to like continuing to pay out outside contractors. The amount of money, so we did it in-house. But between the public safety entities, I think it's gonna be a very strong operations plan.
Yeah, in addition to it, I know Chief Martin has put many, many hours into this, and it is definitely something that'll benefit the entire town. It is more than just a first responder type emergency plan. It's a town-wide for every function that we would ever be entertained at festival, even just a gathering from parks activities to a national night out. So it would have been a disservice to try to squeeze that into tonight with the document. It's not about 90 pages. And it's going to take some staff review first. So I would put it on here so that we can probably circulate electronic form for you guys to look at. We'll look at it at the staff level. We'll give some input, and then possibly by next month we can come forth with some more reviews from you.
Sounds good. I will adjourn the study session. We'll reconvene at 6:30 for the plenary.
I'm gonna go talk to, yes.
What was that just?
This meeting to order. Will you please rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Here.
Alan,
Here.
Mary,
Here,
Bob,
Here. Next item on the agenda is citizen input. Do we have any citizen input on any topic you'd like to have the town council hear? Hello, sir.
Hello.
We know you, but if you could state your name and address for the,
746 Oak Dyer. Just a little short little thing. I was at the last meeting and a gentleman at the end of the meeting came up and was speaking about decorum. And I thought, what a great topic it is, you know, to talk about decorum and how we should all act, how we're all working together. The sad part about it was after he mentioned the word, he proceeded to then go right off topic. He proceeded to basically attack one of the town council members. He proceeded then to talk about their children and what they wore. Now, what bothered me most about this was that he wasn't at the meeting. How would he know what the kids are wearing unless somebody told him? It seemed very strange, and I'm thinking, hey, why would he come and talk about that and bring up that? You know, and then later on, as he's talking about how, hey, we know who we have to vote for next and so forth, and that's electioneering. And then he started talking about what we should wear, and I'm wondering, do we have to have a dress code to come to here? It's just the opposite. I think we should come here doing what we want because we all work together. And I think what the decorum should be is all about you work for the town. You work for everybody. Whether we want to come in a suit, torn off jeans or whatever, doesn't make what we wear. What makes us strong as a community is that we all have different points of view. If we didn't, I'd go out in the parking lot, we'd all have the same car. We don't. We all have different points of view. We just have to go along with them. So it just bothered me that this person who, you know, I don't know, you know, I don't know what organization he works for, any of that kind of stuff, whether he has donors or any of that kind of stuff. It just bothered me that he seemed to come in here with an agenda to bring up something that I thought was, you know, great at first. Decorum. We should act like this. We shouldn't have one person telling another person, you don't dress right. You live like this or dress like. Trust me, I have a child. If I try to tell her well, now she's 34, it doesn't make a difference. But if I tried to tell her what to wear, you would have heard an awful long story because it wouldn't have gone over very big. Kids get to do what they want to do as long as it's not inappropriate. You know, and like I said, I just wanted to say that I think that we're all here to work together for the better of this town. That decorum is we treat each person with respect. That we shouldn't get into 3 against 2 every time. We should look and say, hey, what is really best? What is best for the town? And that's really all I had to say, just very short and simple. Thank you very much.
thank you very much for your input. Do we have any other citizens input this evening? Hearing none, I'd like to open the public hearing on the water rate reduction per the Indiana State Assembly. Town Manager, do you have any statements on this?
Yes, it's a required action, spelled out by Attorney Cedia in the resolution ordinance. Very simple. It has to be done effective July 1st, and it has to be posted 2 consecutive billing cycles thereafter, it being passed.
It amounts to a 1.3% reduction to the water bills in town.
Yeah, it's a repeal of the utility retail tax. But because it is technically a rate change, we have to notice it and have a public hearing. So that's what we're doing. And then the actual vote will come under ordinances and resolutions.
So under this public hearing, do I have any comments? Second time under this hearing, do I have any comments? And third and final time, do I have any comments on the water rate reduction for Indiana State Assembly? Hearing none, I will close the public hearing. And I will move into the consent agenda, seeking a motion to approve the consent agenda to include the minutes of August 8th, 2022 Park Board Town Council Executive Session, minutes of August 11, 2022. Town council special meeting and claims totaling $1,712,512.81.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Next up, under announcements, this is to inform everyone that the town offices will be closed in observance of Labor Day on September 5th, 2022. Next up, I will hand it over to Councilman Alan Brooks for the Dyer 11-year-old All-Stars.
Coach, you want to bring your team in?
Come on, all front, line up with mine. Guys are taking many pictures right now. Let's go. Call the back, short in front. Coaches on left or right.
You're on TV.
This year, Dyer was lucky enough to host the 9, 10, and 11 district state and all-star tournaments. In the district tournament, Dyer went 2-0, having beaten Munster 7-4, then Hobart 15-2 in the championship game. Dyer outscored their opponents 22-6 to capture the 2022 District 1 championship banner. In the double elimination state tournament, the Dyer All-Stars would have a tougher road, first facing Jasper Little League All-Stars. Dyer lost 20-11, resulting them to move to a lower bracket. Dyer would then have a long road ahead of them, having to win 5 straight. They would start their journey of sending the teams home with a 16-2 victory over Broad Ripple. Dyer would go on to beating Brownsburg 18-12, getting revenge on Jasper 7-5, Jefferson 9-3, and finally Zionsville 13-6 in the championship game. Dyer would outscore their opponents 63-28 in elimination games to capture their first state banner since 2004. Dyer had great support from the town of Dyer and the fans filling the Dyer Little League complex. The Little League would like to thank town manager Hein, who helped make their experience great for all the kids involved. And Coach, would you want to introduce each player?
Yes, absolutely.
I'll start from left to right. We'll start with number 18, Luke Paplamatis. 22, Eli Nieblas. 44, Cam Evans. 88, Noah Rosansky. 17, Alex Alavanja. Number 23, Ben Burwanger. Number 09, Tyler Brown. 45, Sam Grenchek. Number 30, Gavin Sabador. 92, Braden Watson. 14, Max Cherney. And last but not least, number 11, Joey Cerna. Oh, I'm sorry. And then can't forget about my coaches. Mike Burwanger and Brett Watson.
Hey, Coach. The town manager would like to show you a presentation that we have for the team.
We have some artwork that will be going on Route 30 from Taylor. All right, who wants to hold it?
I'm gonna steal one picture with you guys. 'Cause I'm so proud of you. You get in there. This time we're gonna pull up the first finger here, just the one index finger. So that sign may not mean something to you guys right now because it's just a sign, but when you're old and you drive by it with your kids or your grandkids, and you're gonna say, that was me. So congrats. You did a lot of good things for the town.
Mike,
Everybody get a
can you
picture?
explain the pins on their hats? Did they collect those?
Pins are every team you play in the tournament, they all have different pins and the boys exchange them with the other towns before they play the game.
I'm glad to see that's still going on.
I have 8 books of those pins.
Yeah. I can say something about the league. This is great. You heard their record. They did amazing. Watch their games. They were awesome out there. But this league needs to be commended because they hosted the district tournament and the state tournament. And that means prepping those fields, pulling the weeds, doing all the work that you don't see out there on game day. But every one of these coaches and every family out in the audience was out there. So congratulations for making us look good. Each kid have a speech ready? All right, thank you again.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
I do want to add that I was at the game and it was amazing. It was a really good game. They played very hard.
Next up, under announcements, an item that that I added, we do have a park board vacancy that has just opened up, so we will begin advertising for that with a date range to end before the next meeting in September.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda, we have a special presentation for the Dyer Fire Department. Chief?
Lieutenant Ben Stutler has been named EMS Director for the Dyer Fire Department. Ben joined the Dyer Fire Department in September 2014 and was promoted lieutenant in September of 2021. Ben is also employed at Franciscan Health in Dyer, where he works in the emergency room. After this winter, earning his bachelor's degree in nursing from St. Francis University. Ben also serves on our department training committee and is currently enrolled in the Blue Card Command and communication training. Ben's education and experience makes him invaluable to his new position. This department's training program and emergency scenes at our community. Ben is a 4th generation firefighter for the Dyer Fire Department and serves with his father, Assistant Chief Thad Stutler. Lieutenant Stutler will help guide this department into its next great chapter as the generations of dedicated fire service personnel before them have done for the town of Dyer, while rooting themselves to our department's mission and vision statements and its core values. We look forward to his continued growth and congratulate him for his well-earned position. And thank you to all the Stutlers who have served us for many years. You're welcome.
This is Ben is not the first person to hold the title. But since we're doing some changes to some uniforms, that is actually the first one. So on a personal note, I had the opportunity to see Matt and Dunn both my first academies. They're both outstanding public servants, and that goes to show that there's guys thinking a lot there. So I'm sure they had another proud moment. It's the second time he gets fitted. Now he gets to wear 2 hats. Hopefully to cover that hair. Told me earlier he's going to do the Navy SEAL, which is just.
I'd like to see that.
So it's only been a short while and Ben's already done a lot of great things in this other position. Where it's still it's a good success. One day I'm sure he's gonna be wearing a 5 bugle up here. Here you go.
Next, we'll move on to reports from the town council. Alicia?
Just an update. I'm not sure if you knew, but we had a small microburst at Taylor's scoreboard went down. They do have one on order. I wanted to update whoever asked me about it before. It's on order. They're just waiting for it to come in. It's on back order. And other than that, I want to congratulate the boys again on their success at the Dyer Little League.
Thank you. Alan?
I just want to plug the DAB walk at Central Park. It's Saturday, September 17th. It looks like it's going to be a big event. It's going to be a great event to have it here in Central Park. So I hope to see everybody there. I also want to thank Chief Alcott's not here tonight, but thank the police department. They've been paying some extra attention to the bus stops now that school's open. So I just want to thank them for that. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mary?
Dyer and Bloom has been very busy with our summer activities, and we certainly invite everybody to join Dyer and Bloom. And we have our own website for the town of Dyer. And we're making plans not only for this fall, but also at Christmas time. We're a very active group, so we certainly invite everybody to come along with us and enjoy the journey, because we've met so many nice people along the way. But we have our meetings once a month, but please go online and you can see that. Second thing is Dyer construction. You know, we have the word Dyer in it, and on the 2-stage ditch, I just want to thank all the people that have worked so diligently to work on that project. It's fascinating to see the design of it and so enjoyable. There are people that stand there every day and watch what they're doing, but certainly they do a great job, and I just wanted to thank them.
Thank you. Clerk Treasurer?
Yes, I have some donations. 2,172 for National Night Out, 114 towards K9, and $50 towards the chief's discretion, with a total of 2,336. If I could have a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the donations as presented.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Next up is town manager.
Most everything I have is a agenda item. I do want to say that in reviewing of our current projects that are in motion, we are busy. We are moving. Every aspect of town has got many to-do lists. So I want to thank all the employees, staff, and everybody sitting up here up front. We're definitely in motion.
Next up, town attorney.
On the litigation front, there's no significant updates. It's been fairly quiet. The major update I'd like to give, though, is regards the status of the town's representation. As you may know, until yesterday, Dyer was the only town of its size in the area with only one attorney. And, you know, circumstances when I started were such that that was possible, and that increasingly became difficult. So there have been conversations, and the decision was reached among the various boards to begin sharing attorney duties with Attorney John Reed, whose office is in Munster. I know John, we've worked together over the course of years, handled many cases, and I have. He's an experienced municipal attorney with strong local roots, and I have and actually served as a town councilman in Munster, and I have full confidence in him. And this will be, I'm on board with this plan. It will go a long way towards relieving my workload for the town and allowing each of us to focus more attention where it needs to be focused. And it's a work sharing load. So the idea is for myself to remain primary attorney for this council, the Redevelopment Commission, Plan Commission and BZA, the Clerk Treasurer, and the Historic Preservation Commission. John would assume primary responsibility for Park Board, Police Commission, Stormwater, and Utility Boards. And then each of us would have a secondary role for each of the others' primary boards and commissions. In case a conflict ever came up or one of us couldn't make a meeting, there's someone ready to step up and handle it. So if there's any questions about that, I can answer them. Otherwise, I think an appropriate motion would be to approve the hiring of John Reed as secondary attorney for this council.
I'll make a motion to approve John Reed to be the secondary for the Dyer Town Council.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I have a question.
Yes.
I didn't hear fire department mentioned.
That's under council
Okay.
right now.
I do have a question. I don't know how to, so we're bringing on another attorney. But was there a meeting that we missed or like a discussion between that was happening to pull this all together? Because this is new to me.
I personally met with John and we had the discussion about potentially sharing workloads, and I don't know if any town manager or anyone wants to jump in.
Right, as a matter of function, each of the boards and commissions, it's within their authority to select council, either the same as the town council or independent. We have 4 boards that are moving to have different council. I think that's the right phrasing, different council than the attorney Decidia. So they are within the right to do that outside of this body. And so I think this motion is just to say, if we have another attorney in town and we need to pull them for something, the town council could use them.
Exactly. And that was the motion that was brought up before Police and Park yesterday, where they weren't kicking me to the curb. They were just moving me to secondary and moving John up to primary.
So this person is going to be hired on as a town employee?
A vendor, just like I assume. I mean,
Yeah, and that contract will be with and paid for from these 4 boards.
So the
Whatever their
the
legal
board
service.
funding is now not going to Adam, it's going to John Reed.
Correct.
Sorry, I didn't have any information about this beforehand, so just want to get it out
Yeah.
there.
I have a motion.
No, I just want to say, I think this will be a good thing. Adams had a very heavy workload. I don't know how many real estate closings that we've done this year. It's been crazy. To actually divide up the work, it will help. We've got so many major projects going around in town and this will help speed those projects up.
We have, just because other municipalities do something doesn't mean that we need to do it. You know, all of our friends jumped off the cliff would we, but in looking at what the other municipalities are doing, having 3 and 4 attorneys budgets of several $100,000 for legal expenses. Some of our boards felt the need that it was time to expand our legal representation. And so I applaud those boards for looking to move that way. And really here for this situation, the two things that I can think of is if the council were to ever need John, it would be in an instance, say, two of the conflicts, maybe if we ever had any legal issues with the St. John Township.
I would have
who
to
you
step away,
represent,
exactly.
Republic Waste, who collects all our garbage, but who you also represent.
Correct.
That would be a conflict of interest. But aside from that, I don't know that we would. I mean, unless there's another conflict to pop up, but
Or if I'm on vacation again or something, you know.
no, we like the phone call from Miami Beach. That was nice.
And I will just say from an attorney, unless you're Hammond or Gary and you have a full-time staff attorney, all your municipal attorneys have private practices and heavy litigation. So from our perspective, and I'm sure from John's, this is a great benefit to us and it allows us to focus our work more.
I have one more question. So all the boards are allowed to bring in their own attorney. Did they all interview or was it this other attorney just given to them? Because it's odd that everybody comes to just two. And that like somebody brings in somebody they know, somebody brings in somebody they know.
Right. We had discussed there was only a small list of attorneys that we were looking at. Most of them are stretched too thin. If
Well, there's a
I was gonna say what I just mentioned was every other municipality has 3 and 4 attorneys. So these few attorneys that practice municipal law are stretched between 3 and 4 different communities. So there was just a very small list of people who we could select from anyways.
And who had that list?
I did.
So you gave it to the other boards instead of select off here?
No, I talked with several attorneys, talked with John Reed. He seemed to be the best fit to do the jobs we needed. For example, last night, the police commission took him on. He is also the Highland Police Commission attorney. And so he has experience in that. So if we weren't picking people out of their wheelhouse, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
He has experience doing these specific boards.
It's a very limited practice area. You could probably count on both your hands the amount of municipal attorneys in the area.
But that's more than 2 though. So, all right, thank you.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
I'm only gonna say no because this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary. Aye. Bob.
Aye. Next up, we have boards and commissions. Frank?
Yes, on the water side, our major generational water projects are, as mentioned before, wrapping up, essentially either in restoration or completed. Only exceptions are some punch list items on our emergency connection on 77th, emergency connection with Cherville, and then on our Munster supply line. I believe it's going through some bacteriological testing right now, Jeff, if that's accurate. And pardon? It was successfully completed. Okay. And then the startup is set then for the 23rd. And assuming everything goes well on that day, I think Metropolitan Pump's going to be out and test all the appurtenances that connect the two communities. Then technically, we could start flowing water to the Munster. Now there's still the matter of the completion of the transport agreement with the town of Munster to set the fee schedule, not the actual agreement to deliver water. That's been completed, and still awaiting some information in that regard to complete that. But hopefully in the next 30 days, we get there. On the sanitary side, we have the treatment plant upgrade. As I understand, the design of that is now completed, and they're in the process of getting those plans and specifications together to deliver to us later this week or sometime next week. And obviously it's been reviewed along the way with staff, but then we'll be at our next board meeting that will be addressing that project and addressing how we may accomplish what's in it and what we'd accomplish when and how much that's going to involved in terms of financial resources. So that one is also wrapping up. So that's where we're at. If anyone's got any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to department heads. Public Works.
The crosswalk lights, morning lights and signs for the crosswalk at Vesnils Park have been delivered. We start installation of that next week. Curb and crosswalk paintings south of the US 30 is currently ongoing, and we will continue that through the end of October until the weather starts changing. Hydrant flushing and maintenance will begin next month. And finally, our open house is on Saturday, September 10th from 9 a.m. to noon. So if you want to see how Public Works runs and the wastewater plant, please feel free to stop by. That is it.
Parks Department.
I want to make a special thank you to Lorraine Copenhaver and Alice Stone, who've been mentoring me on the budget, and to Debbie, Frank, and Dave for keeping me on task, which is not easy to do. Central Park is moving to completion. The batting cages are expected to be completed early next week. The parking lot is close to completion as well. It will be shut down for a few days when they stripe it and put that final layer of asphalt down. The playground is completed, but we're asking people to avoid it for at least another week because they just put fresh asphalt around that area as well. The splash pad is being readdressed, and we will be rebidding that probably next month. And to duplicate what Alan said, on Saturday, September 17th, there not only is the DAV walk, there will also be a police and firefighters playing ball for charity. They're actually playing for a group called Mission One, and Mission One is going to donate the money to the DAV after their event. At the same time, on the south end, while this is going on in the north end, the south end will be the walk. We hope it's the first of many fall walks by the DAV in Dyer at Central Park. The event supports the disabled American veterans, and for $25 for adults and $10 for children, you will receive a t-shirt, lunch prepared by Mission Barbecue, and the opportunity to walk one circuit of Central Park Path, which is 3/4 of a mile, or 2 circuits, which would be 1.5 miles, or you can join me. I will pay $25. I will take a walk from my car to the pavilion to sign up, pay my $25, get my t-shirt, and enjoy my lunch. Anybody that wants to pay $25 for that, you can join me. And any children that want to walk, it's $10. You'll also get a t-shirt. You'll also get to walk or follow me to the pavilion, and you'll get a free Mission Barbecue lunch as well. It's going to be a beautiful event. There's going to be over 500 banners of fallen Indiana soldiers in the field, and you can walk that and appreciate that. All along the walkway path, there are American flags on both sides of it so that you can appreciate our country even more than you already do. And I'm hoping to have a jar there to start collecting money for the Gold Star Memorial that we hope to put in Central Park. So anyway, everybody should have a wonderful time, and I hope you see me there enjoying my lunch.
Thank you.
I just do want to pop in and say thank you for addressing the parks that I just want to make a public announcement that the parks have been addressed and that somebody's actually going to keep an eye on them and make sure that they're taken care of for us. And I just want to say thank you for doing that with a timely fashion. It was great. And I'm very happy to be part of the park board to sit there and watch. And it's the momentum that you guys have going right now is amazing. It's really good. So, kudos to you guys.
We appreciate that. And it's a very good working group in the park department.
I agree with you.
Thank you. Fires.
For the month of July, we had 159 total calls for service. We actually had 710 hours of training as a department. To put that in comparison, there's some departments that our size in a calendar year train about 1,500. So 710 is a very impressive number. So I'm very proud of the staff for that. We continued our installs of smoke and CO detectors. We're at 228 detectors in Dyer homes this year so far. Hopefully we'll be getting another grant here soon, replenish and start doing another blitz. Installed and inspected multiple car seats. We held a CPR public course during July. Our next one is actually August 25th. So if anybody's interested, we still have a few spots left. We hosted Stop the Bleed courses on August 3rd and August 4th. Our next one is September 27th. We had 3 more blue card graduates. We have 2 starting the EMT Academy this month, 1 starting the Paramedic Academy this month. We finalized a career development program that was effective August 1st. We're going to be hosting courses this fall and spring. What that program allows us to do is our future lieutenants, captains, assistant chiefs, and fire chiefs of the Dyer Fire Department now have a pathway understanding what accreditation and what curriculum they need to have under their belt to move up the ranks and serve their people under their command properly. We also implemented along with that a mentor program. We did have a structure fire on August 3rd on Killarney. Our automatic aid and mutual aid worked out very well. A very quick response in a well-involved fire in a very large home was relegated to look like from the outside of the house like nothing even happened. So I was very proud of the response on that day all around. Again, those hours of training pay off dividends when high hazard events occur. October 8th from noon to 4 is our annual open house at Station 18 on Hart Street. And something we're very proud of, it was official today. The Northwest Indiana Fire Peer Support Team will be the first of its kind in the Midwest. It's going to be a regional peer support team for mental health for our fire, EMS, and dispatch professionals. And Dyer actually has 3 personnel that will be the first team of its sort ever. So very proud of that fact.
Thank you. Police?
Thank you. For the month of July, we had 812 incidents, 48 arrests, 36 accidents. We had 305 citations and 680 warnings. We're going to be busy the rest of the year. We actually are finalizing plans for a regular candidate list for hiring. So we'll see that promotional testing is coming up as well. We have our this Friday from 5 a.m. to noon. We have our Cop on a Rooftop event to raising money for Special Olympics at our Dunkin' Donuts at 1371 Joliet Street. So please stop through. Every donation gets a free donut or a coffee. So we will be out there. The weather looks good. So it's our first time doing that event. What's that?
Who's going to be on the roof?
We're still trying to get our brave souls. That'll be.
I think the chief should be up there.
Gonna work on that.
Here, all in favor.
Yeah, we can discuss that. We will work on that, but that's all.
Thank you. I got the nod that the clerk treasurer would like another chance at that.
Yes, Adam, can you have Mr. Reed come in to fill out a conflict of interest so we have it on, because it has to be uploaded in Gateway within
I
15
can't
days.
him, but I can certainly.
Yeah, I know, but if you could tell him, and then I need a W-9.
Sure.
Thank you.
Roads.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The 2021-1, the reconstruction projects, they are on schedule for the completion date and consistent with the revised schedule number 4 we received from the contractor. The 2021-2 resurfacing projects and minor water main on 212th and Jackson, those projects are 90% paved, and by the end of this week, we'll have 212th and Jackson completed, milled, paved, and then the blessing of restoration shall begin. Good news, the 2022-1, the Madison 214 and Magnolia projects were submitted this week to NDOT. Thanks for everyone on the staff level signing and attesting those documents. And they have been approved by NDOT, and they're processing the PO through the clerk treasurer's office to receive those funds. Any questions? Thank you.
Well, you ran out of here fast, didn't you?
Oh,
Any questions?
No,
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. No, thanks for all that. And the residents on Magnolia and certainly Madison and 214, that's been
They're all well overdue.
right. Moving on to ordinances and resolutions. We have the tabled ordinance from the July 20 meeting, which is ordinance 2022-13, adopting the revised parks fee schedule.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2022-13 Park Department fees.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
If I may, what this does is it does more than just update fees. It repeals and replaces section 530 of the town code in its entirety. A lot of it is cleaning up, making it more readable and consistent. And then we added a provision, which is subsection 4 about fees for programs provided by third-party vendors. So I think this is an improvement off of the existing ordinance.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Alan, Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Bob.
Be seeking a motion to suspend the rules and pass ordinance 2022.
So moved.
On second reading.
So moved.
Motion,
Second.
motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. It-
We should do.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
we're out of order on this, so that's just fine. I'll be looking for a motion to approve on first reading ordinance 2022-14, adjusting water rates to reflect the repeal of the state utility rate tax.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Motion a second. Any discussion?
The state is making you do this, so there's not much choice.
We thank the state for their largesse. Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. I'll be looking for motion to suspend the rules and pass ordinance 2022-14 on second reading.
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. And next up, we have ordinance 2022-15, electronic meeting ordinance. I'll be seeking a motion.
I'll make,
a motion.
go ahead. I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2022-15, adopting policies for electronic participation in meetings of the town council, boards and commissions.
I'll second.
I have a motion, a second. This is in place during COVID with the emergency health orders, whatever you want to call them. Municipalities were allowed to meet via Zoom because we couldn't have these type of gatherings. After several years of that, it was determined that there was some use for that. So it's very well defined as to when we can meet. A quorum has to meet here in person. But for example, if we were all here tonight and say Alan was not here, he could Zoom in, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, if I just to provide a little more detail, the old statute said you could phone in or attend electronically, you just couldn't vote. After the experience with COVID, the legislature realized that was obsolete. So the new statute says you can. It imposes parameters that this board can't get out of. For example, at least 50% of the members have to be physically present. And no member can attend more than 2 consecutive meetings remotely. And then this only applies to meetings, not study sessions or executive sessions. So the way this is drafted is it specifies that a quorum has to be physically present. That way, if the internet goes out, you still have a valid meeting. And then study sessions will only require 1 member physically present since there's no action taken at them. And if a member wants to attend remotely, he has to provide the presiding member of the board no less than 24 hours notice. And that's mostly to make sure they don't have more than the allowed number of people trying to appear remotely. I can answer any other questions if they're also fast.
Is this like they can phone call in, or they have to zoom in? Do they have to see the picture of the person?
Yeah, you have, it specifies right in the statute, it has to allow, I don't think visual is a required element, but it has to allow communication back and forth and the public to observe as well. And again, that statute, we don't have a choice in the matter. And then the minutes have to specify which which platform was used.
Now, Adam, if I may, in that statute as well, that precludes participation if there's certain kinds of meetings, adopting a budget.
Yeah,
these
that's correct. There are other parameters.
Yeah, making reduction. It's in the memo that you have attached there. Initiate a referendum, establish an increase of fee, establish or increase a penalty. Major looks like significant or major actions.
Correct.
They can't.
It's a very restrictive statute, but it allows us some leeway, and this is adopting a policy within the bounds that statute prescribes.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia.
Aye.
Alan.
Aye.
Mary.
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. The looking for motion to suspend the rules and pass ordinance 2022-15 on second reading.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia.
Aye.
Alan.
Aye.
Mary.
Aye.
Aye. Next up, I'll be looking for a motion to approve ordinance 2022-16, prescribing conditions for use of town information for commercial purposes.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2022-16, prescribing conditions for use of town information for commercial purposes.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Adam, would you like to?
Absolutely. This is kind of an obscure statute. I mean, the open door law, of course, isn't, but there's a provision in there that allows entities, public entities subject to the law, to prescribe conditions under which a person who receives information as part of an open door request. Now, it only applies to electronically stored data, which I thought was kind of a weird restriction, but that's how they wrote it. We can prescribe restrictions for how the person may or may not use information for commercial purposes, which it defines as including selling, advertising, soliciting the purchase of merchandise, goods, services, sell, loan, giveaway, and deliver information. In some conversations, it was a desire was expressed to restrict outside vendors from using the town for their personal marketing database. So what this does, and the penalty the statute allows is to prevent further the entity from receiving further information. So what this effectively does is say all persons submitting a request have to certify that they're not going to use it for commercial purposes as defined in statute. If it later comes out that they do, the town has to give them their due process, which is notice and a hearing and a right to be heard. And if it finds that there has been a violation, it can forbid the party requesting the information from receiving any further electronically stored information.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia.
Aye.
Alan.
Aye.
Mary.
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Be looking for a motion to suspend the rules and pass ordinance 2022-16 on second reading.
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia.
Aye.
Alan.
Aye.
Mary.
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Next up, we have resolution 2022-23. A resolution declaring certain amounts due to the town of Dyer, Indiana, uncollectible. I'll be seeking a motion to approve this.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2022-23, a resolution declaring certain accounts due the town of Dyer, Indiana uncollectible.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. This is somewhat standard in that we've seen this come across our desk several times, and your office has proven that you go above and beyond to look for ways to collect this debt.
Yes, Nancy does a very good job in doing our liens and making sure we get every dollar that is due.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Ellen,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Next up, we have resolution 2022-24. It's a transfer resolution. Do I have a motion accepting this?
I'll make the motion for the resolution 2022-24, transfer of funds.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Next up, I have do I not have 2025?
There it is.
You do. You have the resolution in front of you.
Behind the MOU.
Not the,
Okay. I'll be looking for motion to approve resolution 2022-25, an interlocal agreement with Lake County.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2022-25, approving interlocal agreement with Lake County, Indiana for the two-stage ditch
I'll
project.
second.
Have a motion and a second. Mr. Town Manager, would you care to explain?
Absolutely. As part of the two-stage ditch, the town has several partners in that project, each contributing unique to it. Lake County's contribution is going to be these three parcels that will be essentially deeded over to the town of Dyer, requesting the president have the authority to sign, receive those properties. It's a formality.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Next up, we have new business, the North Shore MOU. Dave?
Yes, part of the health plan for employees at the beginning of the year, we had talked about a partnership with North Shore. Coming out of some COVID protocols, we had suspended our wellness program, which was in-person blood work for employees. So we launched this partnership with North Shore at the beginning of the year. By the time we really got going through midstream of it, we realized we're about halfway through our renewal for health insurance. So this agreement needed to be modified a little bit to start September 1st and will end March 31st, which is at the renewal of our health insurance for next year. What this is just solidifying our partnership with North Shore, offering some low rates on prescriptions and some more availability to the workers as far as urgent care facilities around the region. We did reduce the monthly cost after some negotiations, and this is the final product that is agreed upon by the staff and our healthcare agent, Will Blaros.
So you'll be looking for a motion to enter into this memorandum of understanding with North Shore Health Centers Incorporated?
Correct. Starting September 1st, ending March 31st, at which time we can decide if we're going to renew that.
I'll make a motion to approve the MOU between the town of Dyer and North Shore Health Centers, known as North Shore.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alan.
Aye.
Sorry, Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Next up, we have item number 2 under new business, the Autumn Chase subdivision sign. Again, Mr. Town Manager, would you?
Yes.
care to-
This process has been supervised by Brian Lane and his division. Probably has not had one come before the council in a while. Most of the signs that are put up to identify subdivisions are done by developers and are usually up for quite some time. For some reason, this sign has disappeared many years in the past. and this subdivision had went undesignated for a while. So a group of residents got together at the direction of town hall with what the process should look like. They are taking it upon themselves to get the collection, get the design done, and get the sign installed. However, the unique nature is that this goes on the media, which is town of Dyer property. So at some point, you, the governing body, should be able to approve the design of the sign and give the final approval of this. So what we're looking for is just a motion that approving this subdivision of the request to install the sign that you have in your packet.
I think it's a really attractive sign and I would make a motion to approve the sign.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Hats off to the neighbors for doing this.
I just want to put it out there that other neighborhoods that need signs can also do the same thing. They can reach out and you'll show them how to do it or tell them what to do.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I
Thank
think
you.
as some of these signs age too, this will probably come before you a little more often.
It's very nice.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Bob.
If I could just add too, since we are talking about future sign, if this subdivision had the sign up and was just refurbing it, getting it freshened up, painted, the exact look, the exact everything, that's process would not need to take place. This is just because there isn't currently one
Right.
there and one is being put up new. So
Any and all? I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
All moved.
I'll second the motion.
Voice vote.
Aye.
We'll take a 5-minute recess before we get into RDC.
I'd like to call the August 17, 2022 Dyer Redevelopment Commission meeting to order. We've already done the roll call, pledge of allegiance. Do we have any citizen input? Hearing none. We have a consent agenda before you that consists of the minutes of the July 20th, 2022 Redevelopment Commission meeting, the claims totaling $468,381.96. I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Aye.
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 Aye. General orders, old business, we have none. We have two items on new business. I did want to explain to the board, I went to the Lake Central School Board group and I showed them the tip video that we all shared. I think it was very well received. Jen is here this evening. And there were a number of questions that people asked me afterwards, but it was good because it's a great video to explain where and how we use TIP. So thank you. Under new business, we have the Gettler Street house.
We are finalizing an agreement which is the parameters authorized by the commission rather at the last meeting. I don't think we've heard back yet, but you know, it's pretty much a done deal. We will give you updates as we progress towards closing. We're probably looking at, was it November?
November 1st was the request for closing.
So the homeowner accepted our offer?
Yes.
Good. And with the White Hen Pantry being taken apart as we speak.
Yeah, it sure looks like the hospital's getting closer to taking down the Brown building, the end of an era.
Yes.
Most people won't know that it was White Hen, but yes.
I'll just be glad when it's gone.
Police before the White Hen?
That's what I was told. It was prior use was a EMS. They kept the fire truck and a police car there. And then the town sold it. to
Joe's
White-
like, wait.
Yeah. And then what I was told is the White Hen bought it. They bring it up.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, 213th in Sheffield. I know we've been talking about this, it seems like forever. Do we have any updates on that property?
Yeah, we asked, I guess, clarify 213th in Sheffield, there's two locations of 213th in Sheffield that are of interest to the RDC. First one I will comment on, if you don't mind, attorney, is the east side of 213th and Sheffield. In searching the minutes and everything, there's been no action ever taken by the RDC as to what direction or if any direction. I just wanted to reiterate that at this point, we believe we forwarded everything to the RDC that's been requested is according to appraisals.
Yes.
The appraisals have are less than 2 years old as of right now, so still could be considered to be used if you were going to take any action. But just to remind you, there has been no action or direction given us to go any further than what we have right now on the east side. So if there's any direction that you want
On the empty lot on the east side.
the empty lot and also the strip mall.
Northeast?
Okay,
Or-
looked like somebody was
Northeast and the
moved in there.
Northeast and southeast, there's been no direction by the RDC given to pursue it past the appraisals that have been forwarded.
Okay.
The northeast, I know we had to look at, because they kept parking cars there.
Yes.
That's been handled.
Yes. Code enforcement was out there and determined that they weren't violating anything. There was one car that may have had a infraction violation, but not the actual parking of the cars themselves were authorized by a tenant.
But there's no restaurants or anything in that building right now.
It doesn't appear to be anything open for business in public at this point.
So then who's there at night?
The cars are just always parked there.
Yeah,
It's
there's,
just a
there's,
parking
something-
lot now.
yeah, there's something,
I had
there's
called,
something in that middle one, the light's on at night.
the lights on at
There's
night, but
tables
there's
out
no restaurants or anything going in there because we walk that area a lot, so. I did call and ask that they check out the cars because their cars are not moving. And they did.
Chief Martin looks like he would like to chime in.
I'll have to check with the inspector, I understand that I'm doing, so I can do the inspection, but I believe that there was a restaurant condo, and that one of those applicants, they were not, given that ability yet to, but, yeah, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that it's the, same building where somebody was trying to go around and,
Correct, building's not needed.
But you have to do an inspection before they open up, correct?
Absolutely, they're not open.
Okay, all right.
So right now, they're still trying to get to that point.
Okay, keep us posted though, please.
Okay, I will, talk to, Janaya, so we'll discuss it.
And now,
West side.
west side.
The Speedway property is in litigation. I've been going back and forth with the attorneys. I think it's gonna end up coming down to a battle of the appraisers and reaching our estimates somewhere in the middle, which is how these cases usually end up.
So what can we expect?
We have a status conference with the court, September 16th, I want to say
Okay.
thereabouts. They'll give us a case management schedule, and then after that, I can come back and say, this is how it'll be disposed. You know, if it
Okay.
goes to trial, it'll go on the state.
Yeah, because people see the sign up there and they think it's sell for sale. Or auction.
I mean, they can have it listed for sale. There, you know, the
Yeah.
title search is gonna show this litigation. And
Right.
a
Okay,
buyer's not gonna really want it.
And to add some difficulties, and correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, is that the corporation had just recently sold as well, correct? Speedway to another corporation.
Well, there hasn't been any change of counsel from I mean, Speedway is a brand name of Hess Oil, which is
Mhm.
based out of Ohio. They've had the property since 1915, I think. So there hasn't been any change in ownership from that side. There's some other easement rights that have come up, and I've been going back and forth with VP's attorneys about, they say that they don't have an easement, but the title search showed one up. The interesting thing, and in a good way, is that there's no brownfield consent decree on the
Mhm.
property. So, you know, unless the EPA swoops in or something.
yeah.
Yeah, why does like Beetlejuice now? It's not.
It's not changed this.
Okay, thank you. Any other further discussion? Any and all? You have a motion for adjournment?
If I can add one under any,
Yeah,
I
sure.
apologize. Been working very, very diligently with the Parks Department in Central Park, and as we get closer to the end of it, we have recognized that that is a gem for the town. It's become more than just a softball, baseball complex. We have great visions for that along the RDC lines. We're talking about hosting some concerts out there,
Mhm.
many things that we can do that'll really highlight this town. So I'll keep you posted on it, but I think this is a great opportunity for RDC. And Parks Department has been very, very supportive of this.
When is that trail application supposed to be in?
I
For RFC?
want to say we still got October, September, October, yeah. You talking about the spur application for the Penzi Spur?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Any
I
other
ju-
discussion?
Yes, I just want to add to what the town manager said. I was out there today with the police chief. We looked around all of Central Park and it's amazing what's taking place there.
Yeah.
So I know, we discussed today possibly when it's completed to have a day where a grand opening where the residents can actually come out there and see what's taking place. Because when you see it from the road, it doesn't do it justice.
Right, right. Any other discussion? Motion for adjournment,
So moved.
second,
I'll second them.